Boys, what is up? We got new information about the end game for Borderlands 4. Let's get right into it. Y'all are going to see my live reaction to this. Let's get it.
The goal for Endgame in Borderlands 4 is obviously to make the most kick-ass, badass Vault Hunter available.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're going to be wanting to grind bosses for specific gear drops. You'll want to be playing with your character's action skill tree and kind of fine-tuning where you put your action skill point. And then finally, you'll want to be using firmware to kind of min-max your build.
Our Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. We already know a little bit about this.
It was a beloved community feature of Borderlands 2, and we wanted to bring it back, but it's different than in the past. So Ultimate Vault Hunter mode is unlocked after you've completed the campaign.
Yep.
You'll be guided through it through a series of tutorial missions with a character, and you'll ultimately unlock Ultimate Vault Hunter difficulty 1. To unlock additional difficulties, you'll have to do a series of rank up challenges.
So I do like that. I do like that. The rank up challenges. This is pretty cool. This is something new that we haven't seen yet. So if you see like Dragon Wagon, Kill Bag, Battle Wagon, and Ultimate Vault Hunter 3. So these challenges are pretty cool. I think this is a way to kind of add a little bit of spice than just ranking up and going through the motions of, hey, I'm on Ultimate Vault Hunter 1, 2, 3, 4 now. These challenges, I think, will add a little bit of life to the game. That's pretty cool.
To rank up challenges. And these challenges test you by defeating other enemies out in the world. That will culminate with having to complete a wildcard mission.
Weekly wildcard missions. Okay, so I don't think I've seen much about these.
Are new to Borderlands 4. And each week, we're going to choose a mission that allow players to farm a specific legendary for that week. Change each week and have a different selection of enemy traits that will spawn on enemies as you fight through it. So you'll be challenged, but you'll be guaranteed a legendary at the end of that mission.
Okay, so the weekly wildcard. That I really like. Why do I like that? That incentivizes players who, you know, month, 2 months down the line who have done everything in the game. That is going to incentivize them to get on and actually play the game. At least that weekly wildcard mission. I really like that. Great addition to the game. Let's get it.
Firmware in Borderlands 4 is our first shot at bringing gear sets to Borderlands. Firmware is an exciting new addition that can only spawn on non-weapon piece of gear. So you can get a firmware drop on the Ordnance, Shield, Class Mod, Enhancement, or Rep Kit. You'll want to combine firmware to get their full value.
Wait, so I actually haven't seen anything about this. This is really cool. Okay. Yo, I really like that because it seems like there's going to be a lot of different combinations of stuff. That's pretty cool. Wow, okay. So that seems like it's going to make the end game a lot more in depth. If there's going to be a lot of combinations you can do between the firmware and the actual weapons and the gear that you want. Okay.
To get their full value. It'll be up to players to determine how they want to build out their character, as you need 3 pieces to complete a full set. However, as long as you have one, you'll get the bonus of the level 1 version of that firmware. Each firmware has 3 tiers of bonus.
Wait, so what were the bonuses?
Each firmware.
Damage dealt to badass enemies. Zoom in speed is increased by 20%. Okay, so we can check out some of these right here. So the first level right here, zoom in speed is increased by 20%. Okay. Second level, Hyperion gun shield capacity is increased by 25. Okay, so these are huge buffs. Huge buffs right here. Hyperion gun shields have a 30% chance to ricochet projectiles. So these are huge percentages that you're getting added on by these firmwares in these levels. Okay, so that is actually going to be very big and important to your build, especially in the end game and going up through those Ultimate Vault Hunter levels. These firmwares and these levels are going to be very important and give you these huge buffs.
Bonus. Exclusive new firmware only drop in those higher difficulties. And since there's 5 slots that firmware can spawn on, you have an option to kind of min-max based on the variety of firmware what matches your character build.
Contracts.
In the base game as soon as you get to your first safe house. But what they're really great for is endgame, because they'll reward you with iridium, which is a currency that's used for a lot of endgame activities, such as respecing your specialization tree or having access to big encore versions of bosses from Moxie's big encore machine.
Okay, so basically contracts. Kind of seems, I think it was in Borderlands 3. Are those like the things you see in the in your safe house with like the wanted missions and shit. That's kind of what I'm feeling from the contracts. And you're going to get iridium from them, which is going to give you access to Moxie's big encore missions. Awesome. Okay.
Moxie's Big Encore machine is unlocked as you complete missions for the bosses. The Encore machine lets you purchase a rerun of the boss right in the game, no save loading. As part of the Endgame, each week a Big Encore version of a boss will be selected, and you'll be able to spend iridium to farm a more difficult, challenging boss, but have a much better chance at their dedicated loot.
See, and that's big. We already knew that. That's something we already knew, and we've already went over. But the fact that they added in that, and I don't know if you guys caught this, no save time, no load time. That's awesome. That's really cool that you can jump right in. But to pretty much get a rerun at those dedicated drops without having to replay all of the missions or, you know, quit out, spawn back in, go run back to the boss, I think that's really cool. I said this in my last video. It seems like they really prioritize the end game. Seems like they really prioritize the people who are going to be playing this game every single day, or at least, you know, more frequently than people who are going to play the story or play the game once and then just get off. Really seems like they're trying to add as much content as possible to the end game and make this game live past that first initial couple playthroughs, which is really good to hear.
Specializations are our new end game skill tree. You'll have access to it after you've completed the campaign, and you'll collect specialization points as you level up.
Okay, so that's something I hadn't seen yet either. So there's a specific end game skill tree with specialization points. Vault Hunter gains increased maximum health and shields. Okay. And it looks like they go, I mean, up 1%. So for everyone who's played the old Borderlands and know about badass ranks, that 1% is huge. That 1% is huge, especially with these specializations in this end game tree. Like that 1% is big. That's really big.
Do it after you've completed the campaign, and you'll collect specialization points as you level up. This is a replacement for Guardian ranks.
Or Guardian rank, badass rank. Yeah.
Specializations will unlock socketable behaviors. Over the course of leveling it up, you'll have access up to 4 socket spaces to put these behaviors.
Wait, what was that third one?
You'll have access up to 4 socket spaces.
30% damage reduction when full. See, okay, so a lot of these skill trees, a lot of these firmware, a lot of these buffs we're seeing are massive. They're massive. 30% damage reduction when full is, I mean, that is a big chunk, a huge chunk.
To put these behaviors in. I don't want to spoil too much. I'm really excited about it, and we'll talk more about it as we get closer to launch.
Raid bosses!
Borderlands 4, raid bosses are returning. Raid boss is a short run up to a boss fight that is an invincible version of a boss. Invincibles have the most punishing damage, the biggest health pools, but they also will come with some of the best loot in the game.
Of course they will.
As you complete each raid, though, we will unlock additional Ultimate Vault Hunter difficulties that, again, will then give you access to new firmware as the game progresses over that first year. Like Borderlands 3, we anticipate to take care of the game after it launches.
So basically, the firmware edition is massive. I mean, the firmware edition adds a complete separate dynamic to the game almost, where like you are going to want to min-max your build in a way to where that firmware is pretty much everything. That's going to make or break a lot of builds, which is pretty cool because it just gives you another element to farm and, find that firmware that you need to make your build the way you want to make it, which is really cool.
A series of live events and free content week to week. The game is doing something fun to kind of change it up.
So that's exactly what I just said, the week-to-week basis. So the people who are going to be playing this game, and not just running through one playthrough, these weekly wildcards, this firmware, all these endgame activities are going to add life to the game and make it so it doesn't feel like we're just running the same shit over and over again. Like, we're not just running playthroughs for the sake of running playthroughs because there's nothing else to do. Hopefully a lot of this endgame content holds up and it is able to keep a strong player base past that initial run through the story in your first Ultimate Vault Hunter playthrough and getting up there. You know what I mean? I hope a lot of this endgame content ages well and is able to keep the player base on the game for an extended period of time.
More currency dropping, different enemies spawning, or community challenges. Borderlands 4 is a massive game this time around. We absolutely packed it full of content. But we also wanted to make sure that there was always something to come back to, even after you've consumed the base game. And so Borderlands 4's Endgame is a great place for you to continue to enjoy Borderlands 4 day to day, week to week.
Man, what do we got? 4 days until Borderlands 4, man. That really got me hyped, man. That really got me hyped, especially for the end game, man. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like, hit that follow, subscribe to the channel, man. I love y'all. It is Borderlands week. Let's go, baby.